Hey there everybody, Susan here with Pumpkin Hill Stampers. I have Stampin' Show and Tell for you today, and we just kicked off our celebration promotion for 2023. So I first want to start by showcasing this designer series paper that you can earn as a freebie when you place a $50 order during celebration, so now until the end of February. And this one's called Dainty Flowers, and it's got some really nice colors and textured prints to them. Right, some soft, subtle colors, but some bold prints. So this is one side, and then if you flip it over, you know our back side's going to have coordinating colors, but maybe something more muted. This one's kind of fun with the speckles on it. Some nice patterns and prints, right? Solid colors that you can use as a coordinating layer on cards. So some fun prints there. So we're going to be using this paper for my project today for the Stamping with Friends blog hop. So this is the piece I'm crafting with today, and what I'm going to do is we're doing Emboss Resist as our technique for the blog hop today. So I've already cut down a panel from this paper that I'm going to use on my card. So Emboss Resist. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be heat embossing part of the image, and then I'm going to apply an ink layer over the top, and the embossed layer is going to resist the ink that's put down on top of it, so we can rub it off after, and it's going to showcase underneath. So let's just go ahead and get started. Okay, so I've cut down a piece of this paper, and I've gone and gotten my layering circle dies, and I've cut, this is about a 3-inch circle. Okay, and I'm going to mask a section of my DSP. I'm going to apply Versamark, and then I'm going to heat emboss. So, like I said, I've already cut my circle, so now I'm going to mask. I'm going to take my piece of paper here, and I'm going to spotlight the section that I want to have remaining. That's good. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my Versamark. I'm going to hold this nice and tight, and I'm just going to press my Versamark to the paper. So basically, I'm applying a circle, right, of ink to the top of my DSP. Now normally we would have you ink up a stamp and then stamp down, and that moved just a little. So my circle might be a little off, but we'll be fine. Okay, so this time we're just applying the Versamark straight to paper, and then I've got clear emboss powder in my tray, so I'm just going to dust over my circle and tap off the excess. Doesn't like I moved my circle too much, so that's good. Okay, so now I'm going to do some quick heat embossing. Now it's clear, so you're just going to kind of see it get a little shiny, but this will be pretty quick, so don't mind the noise. Okay, so I've just heat embossed that. Now, you might not be able to tell on the video, but now it looks like a glassy finish just over the size of that circle that I die cut and covered in the ink. Okay, so it's just that big. So the rest of this is still exposed paper. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, you could do this two ways. I've got this cutout circle, so I could place this over the top to kind of mask that. I'm going to bring in my sponge dauber. If you've got our new blending brushes, that would be a great time to use them. But I'm just going to pick up some rich raspberry ink on my dauber, and I've got this covering my circle, and I'm just going to come around and apply ink to my designer series paper. Okay, and I'm going all the way out to the edges. Now, this can be dark, this can be light. You could go with a darker color. I chose to go with rich raspberry, And I'm choosing not to black out all of the image. Okay, sometimes we do this technique and we black out all of the images around the piece that we're spotlighting. Like totally black it out, so use nice black ink. But I've decided I kind of want it still to be there, right? Those fun patterns, but I don't want it totally blacked out. So you see how masking that kept that kind of clean, but I can come right up close with my ink. Right, I can go right over the top. Now I'm just going to come in with a clean tissue or a chamois, whatever you have, and you can rub that ink right off of your embossed image. Okay? You can clean it right up again. No worries. See, it's coming right off. No worries. Okay, so emboss, resist. Right, we embossed the circle and then we applied ink around the outside. So, and like I said, you can add as much shading around that section as you want. Okay, so there's that. So now I'm just going to layer this up. I have a piece of rich raspberry cardstock. And I'm just going to apply my liquid glue, if I can get it to run for me. There we go. Thin layer of liquid adhesive on the back of my DSP. Now it's been embossed and then ink, so it's got some moisture in it right now, so I'm really going to lay it down on my cardstock evenly with that adhesive. Now, there's ink on there. It's probably still wet, so I might want to flip it over and rub it this way so I'm not rubbing all that ink on my fingers to then transfer someplace else. So we'll try to keep it clean. Okay, so there's our panel. And that's going to go on my Fresh Fraser card. Now, I decided I wanted to do some ribbon embellishing on here, but I don't have any colors that coordinate with my paper. So I'm going to dye with my Mossy Meadow blend some ribbon. So I'm just going to take 4 lengths of my section. And all I do to color dye my ribbon, now you can do this with any light ribbon, and blends I like best because it dries pretty quickly. The alcohol ink dries quickly, but you can do this with your stamp pads, you can do this with your Stampin' Write markers, you can do this with the re-inkers. You're just dyeing the ribbon. Now, if you use our Stampin' Write markers, our re-inkers, or our ink pads, you really need to let it dry because that ink is very, very wet. These blends, which is an alcohol-based ink, dries very quickly, so it's not such a delay in finishing the project. So you see I just move it along my scrap paper and color my ribbon, and this is one of the coordinating colors in the paper, so I'm just dyeing the lighter ribbon with the darker blend to get a coordinating ribbon to use on my project. Okay. So that's pretty easy. Alright, so I'm just going to have this come behind my panel. I think I'm going to try to tie a bow over here. I'll start with my cross. And then I was having trouble earlier with actually getting things to stay put, so I'm going to put a little glue dot where I have that to start, just to give me a little anchor. Okay. Except for it didn't stick. Hold on. Let's try that again. Press and peel. There. Okay, so now I have a place to anchor my bow. And then I'm just going to make 2 loops and make my bunny ear bow. well now. Let's try again. Okay, go through the center, pull that loop out. And did you notice I tied my bow upside down? Sometimes I find that I have better luck getting it to sit the way I want it to if I do it upside down. I don't know why, but it's got to be something with the twisting of the ribbon. Okay, so now I've got my bow. I can adjust my size until it's the size I want it. Just keep tugging. Then I just bring my ends up together, and I'm going to give them a trim together so they'll be roughly the same length. Yeah, and then that's going to go right on my card. Just like that. So let's use some dimensionals. Get that put on. So the layout is really pretty simple, right? It's just one layer with a slightly larger mount, put on the card base. The ribbon's pretty simple, coordinated ribbon, just wrapped and tied. And then our Emboss Resist panel is our focal point. So there's that. Now I have a cool little stamp set with saying sending support. It is also in the Sale-a-bration catalog. Again, it's another item you can get with a $50 order. And I've just die cut some basic white with my rectangular stitch dies. And I'm going to stamp this one, Sentiment, which has become one of my favorites at the moment. Courage is being really scared and doing it anyway. So there's my little sentiment. I'm going to go ahead and just put that up on a couple dimensionals as well. And I'm going to add that to my card. I think I'm going to add it. I'm going to add it up here, a little off kilter from the image. So that's sending support. So it's got some really great messages in there for that. Okay, so there's my card, guys, and there's my hop project for today for our Stamping with Friends blog hop. So remember, I love to see the comments. Leave me comments here, or leave me comments over on the blog if you're doing the blog hop. And this is a really easy technique. Remember, all I did was die cut from a piece of scrap paper and applied Versamark direct to my DSP, heat set it with clear, and then used my coordinating color to sponge ink around the image. So there are 2 different cards I made with that technique with the same products. So I hope you're having some fun stamping with our blog hop today. I hope this maybe inspires you to do a project like this. And again, you remember you can click the subscribe button here on YouTube, and you can leave me messages over on my blog to let me know what you think. Alright everybody, have a great day and have some fun hopping on our blog hop today.